Hey there, fellow adventurers. It's Alec from Fishing and Adventure Tales. Today we're going to talk about a different type of adventure, actually how to fund your adventures using points, how to game the point system with your credit cards in order to either fully fund or heavily subsidize all of your travel, or certainly your adventure travel that I focus on using credit card and airline mileage points. So let's get into this and how we do it. So if you love exploring new spots and thrilling destinations, we're going to talk about how to get to some of the places I go to: Brazil, Alaska, the Amazon, Iceland, Norway, Canada, all over the United States using points. We're going to game the point system on adventure travel. Before we get into the strategies and the tactics that I use, let's break down some of the recent travel that I have done, okay, and some of the points that I've used on recent and planned trips that I've already booked. If you're a follower of this video, of this channel, if you're a subscriber for a long time, you know we've done a lot of Alaska videos. I went to Alaska last year, 3-week fishing and travel off-road adventure. That whole trip came to a little north of $20,000, and it was the first time I started really using the point game to subsidize the trip. Basically 30% of that trip was subsidized using points, mostly for air travel as well as some hotels that I stayed at in Anchorage. The next trip that's coming up really soon is the Amazon expedition, August of 2023. That trip, total all in, is roughly $8,000, of which 60% of that, as of now, is already been offset using airline points for first class air travel, hotel in the beginning and the end of the expedition in Manaus, as well as all the gear that I need. And we're going to go through these strategies as we get into it. I just got back from visiting my son in Canada, and we traveled up the Bruce Peninsula, did hiking, exploring, and fishing. That trip all in was about $5 grand. 90% of that trip was offset using points for air travel, hotel, and some incidentals. I've booked a trip for this fall to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Estimating that trip all in, I'm still in the process of booking and buying things. It's going to run me about $5 grand. Already got my first class air tickets from Miami to Chicago, where my daughter lives, and then we're going to rent an SUV, 100% paid for it with points, going up to the Michigan Upper P. Estimating 70 to 90% of that trip will be paid for using points. And I have another trip to the Amazon in January of 24, again at roughly $8,000, and again about the same thing, running about 80% subsidized using the points and the game system. And finally, the last thing I have booked is a 35th wedding anniversary cruise with the wife. We're gonna cruise around the fjords of Norway and Scandinavia. We're only using points for the airfare. 100% airfare is going to be covered first class, Miami to Oslo, and that's looking at about $8,000 to $10,000 depending on when we actually get the tickets, but all of that's going to be covered using our points. So that's a little bit of how I have used and subsidized. So now let's get into understanding how to use these babies to your maximum advantage. And I'm not really a credit card guru. I've just kind of figured out a lot of this shit on my own and trial and error. So some cards are obviously worth more than others, and some have better point values to maximize the points. There's other websites and videos that could really go into that. I'm going to talk about what I do and how I am successful using the points for the cards that I have. Okay, so the cards I use most, the first one, the cards I use most, and the first one that's my go-to is my AMEX Platinum card. I've been a member since 1988, so I get all kinds of benefits, just the fact that I've been there for like ever. Okay, now I know a lot of people complain that the Amex card costs $650 a year. Yep, it does. But you know what? I get over $700 a year back in cash, back from Amex. Cover all of my, so I get money every month for Uber. I get money every month for digital subscriptions. I get Uber Cash. I get airline credits, hotel credits. I get some other money back things that Amex offers, more than covers the annual fee. So that for me is a non-starter. The points on Amex Platinum are absolutely amazing. You earn 5x. You earn 5x points on airline travel, hotel stays, as well as bonus points between just a few hundred to 20,000 bonus points based on different purchases. And they have all these things online. You can kind of go through their rewards and see what purchases you're going to make anyway and kind of maximize the points. So making strategic purchases multiplies the points. Some recent ones that I've done, wanted to have some new clothes. I love You Go Boss. Spend $250, get 5,000 points. Same with Theory. I dropped another $200 on some shirts, another 5,000 points. Every time I book travel on Amex, I get 5x points. That really adds up and really pays for airline tickets. I have an Amex Gold card I use for business, pay my office rent, pay a few other things, advertising expenses. I really multiply the business expenses using my Gold card. My next go-to card is my Amazon Chase card. Okay, this one is a great card. I mostly only use it at Whole Foods and purchase on Amazon. Why? 5% cash back on those purchases. That's real money, plus an additional 2 or 3% cash back on gas, drugstores, and supermarkets. That money goes into a different bucket, offsets some of the hard costs of these expenses, right? I have an Apple card. I only use it for Apple product purchases and app purchases, and that's roughly 3%. Once in a while, I'll use it for something else on Apple Pay, and that's a 2% cash back. Those cash backs have really been, I've used those to really subsidize almost in full my gear purchases, which runs into the thousands every year. Talking about gear, I also have a Bass Pro Shop card. I don't have it in my wallet. I only use it when I shop either online or in-store at Bass Pro. That provides up to 3% back on gear purchases, which then I use obviously to buy gear. Airline, I have an American Airlines card. I have it here. I hardly ever use it because I prefer the Amex card for travel, but I do have it. I do earn points, and I do play their game when they have specials or things like that. All right, so what are the strategies for earning and redeeming points? We kind of went over how I've used my points. We've gone over some of the cards I have. Let's go really into how to maximize and understand the points. Big purchases. Making big purchases, I just don't whip out any card. I kind of be a little thoughtful and strategic on that to understand those dynamics. So before I make a big purchase, obviously you research whatever it is you're buying. I then research what my cards provide in points or cash back, and I make the best purchase based on that reward system. Okay, in examples, travel is almost always American Express Platinum, 5x points. I'd be foolish not to. Okay, our health insurance, which runs expensive, as everybody knows, I usually use that on cashback cards. Well, I'll earn 1 to 3% cash back on that, which will earn us rather about $1,500 a year in cash. That just comes from paying our monthly premiums. Gas is also cash back. All right, so restaurants, my Gold Amex is 4x points on restaurants. Apple products I already talked about, 3x on the cash backs. So now, how do you redeem and use all of these points that we've been gaming and accumulating? Okay, first I keep a spreadsheet of all the points broken down by, the credit card or the airline program and all the different trips and what I use them for. So I manage that like I would manage a business spreadsheet, okay? So Now let's break this down. For redeeming points, air travel, I will only use American Express points or American Airline points, and I only fly first class or business class depending on what's available. Playing the points game and getting my first class or business class seat, I don't even go for the upgrades. I just purchase the thing outright, guarantee my seat, use my points. I'm comfortable as all could be. All right, hotel stays. I will typically use AMEX or IHG, which is the holding company of the parent company of Holiday Inn Express and Holiday Inn. When I travel solo, I'll stay a lot of times at Holiday Inn. And I've accumulated a lot of points, so I will stay at Holiday Inn hotels a lot for 1 or 2 nights when I'm traveling, and layovers or airports or what have you. Car rentals. I typically rent a truck or an SUV when I'm traveling. I'm not loyal to any car rental company. I will get the best deal through American Express, and then use that either and subsidize using points or pay in full with points. Don't care about the loyalty programs with I don't care about the loyalty programs with car rentals, and I really don't even bother playing the hotel game because I have so many other points. I just stay what I feel is the best hotel for me wherever I'm at. I do have points at some different hotel chains, but other than Holiday Inn Express, I really don't manage that. Gear, fishing gear, hiking gear, outdoor gear. I spend thousands of dollars a year on gear. However, I use points either from Bass Pro that we already talked about, and I just convert that into gear. I also will use American Express points to buy REI gift cards, use those REI gift cards that I now got for free, purchase gear in REI, that then allows me to earn an REI member dividend the following year that I cash in for more gear. So it's almost a perpetuating gear for points game I got going on. So all the fishing gear I took to Alaska, all the fishing gear I'm taking to the Amazon, I've got almost 100% of that using points or cash back. Talking about cash back, cash is king, okay? I pay a lot of shit with cash. Drives my wife crazy and probably drives some of the retailers I go out crazy, but when I can, I will use cash. But cash back on credit cards on those big purchases like health insurance, that really enables me to use that cash to subsidize other travel adventure expenses. So to wrap things up, let's go into some real life examples and success stories that I have deployed, okay? So I'm gonna just talk about year to date from January of 2023 to mid-end of July of 2023. I've so far this year, using the points game and all of that, I've earned 200,000 American Express points, and I've cashed in over 220,000 points. Obviously, I had points left over from the previous year. That was almost all exclusively first class air travel, some hotel stays, etc. Okay, American Express points covered 100% of my airfare using points to multiple places: Alaska, Canada, Santa Fe, 2 trips to the Amazon coming up. So I really use that extensively. Okay. I've also used Amex points to cover hotel stays in Manaus, Santa Fe, Toronto, and a few other places. I've earned over $2,500 in cash back in this time period that goes towards trips and whatnot. And as an American Airlines Platinum member, I earn extra miles flying on American Airlines, and I even for flights that you get for free using Amex points, I still get, like 150% value on the miles. So it just becomes this self-perpetuating mile machine or point machine. And since 2022, I have used more than 300,000 American airline points, also for first class travel only. So that's kind of the ecosystem and how to play this game. So that's it, really. You know, with the right credit cards and some smart strategies that make sense for you, this is what makes sense for me, you can fund your next adventure, fishing trip, hunting trip, family thrilling vacation, or what have you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not one of our 17,000 plus subscribers. Until next time, happy travels and tight lines.